to Life is a Vibe, everyone. I took a little bit of a hiatus, but we are back. I moved, so if you're watching on YouTube, we are finally in my new apartment that I've been waiting so long for. And I really just wanted to take some time to ground into my new home, get things set up. It's been a month since I've been here, and so now we are getting back into our content grind. So thank you for being patient with me. In today's episode, I really wanted to do your end of year checklist for 2022, because if you've been seeing the nonstop rhetoric about ending the year strong, doing all of these things, I really wanted to simplify it for you in case you're feeling really stressed out just about the year ending and getting all of these things done. So hopefully you'll walk away from this podcast feeling really calm, collected, and just ready to go to end the new year. And so that is what we're going to be diving into today. And I wanted to just start off this podcast by taking some 3 deep breaths together just to reset into this space and get ready for this episode. So if you want to close your eyes, go ahead, and we will go ahead and take those 3 deep breaths in. So go ahead and take that first inhale in and exhale it back out. Second one in and exhale it back out. Last one in. Hold it. Release in 3, 2, 1. Exhale it back out. Alrighty. Quick little life updates. I'm in my new apartment, so we're feeling really good. We're in the new space. Life lately has been feeling like I am coming out of this cloud, coming out of this cave. I don't really know. I'm going to do a whole episode talking about my 2022 year and everything like that, but I've been kind of hard on myself on how this year has gone. Not that anything necessarily went wrong, but I'm just analyzing and reflecting and just been thinking a lot, but I finally feel like I'm on the other side of it, which just feels so amazing to be in and a really great place to be in. And I'm just really excited for what this next year will hold. I always love the energy of a new year, but I feel like from everything I've learned in this past year, I've learned a lot. I've experimented a lot, and 2023 is going to feel really good. And that's kind of what's been happening with this content, right? I took a pause and I kind of reflected, do I like launching stuff on Mondays with the podcast? Do I want to do it on a Tuesday? So I've been testing out things like that and experimenting. So that's why we are coming back on Tuesdays for the podcast, and I'm doing YouTube videos for this brand over on Thursdays. And then I've also changed my username to Adriana Simona. Find Your Vibe will always continue to live on, but I really was just searching for a way to continue to differentiate, my coaching business from the brand that I've created, Vibe with Aid. And, I will always be Vibe with Aid in my core. I have built that brand and love that brand so much. And festivals will be a part of my life in some way, and music will be a part of my life in some way. But, stepping into this coach, role, I just was really yearning to differentiate myself from that. I'm not like a rave life coach. I am a fulfillment coach, and that means I'm for everyone. So as I continue to grow, I am just finding ways to kind of make that more known with myself. And I feel like I had such a resistance to being known by my own name for some reason. I think probably thinking that people wouldn't love me unless it was behind a brand name for some reason. But I made that change. And so on all of my platforms, you can find any of my coaching related content, helpful content, whatever it may be, at Adriana Simona. My other page, Vibe with Aid, is very much intact. I just am slowly pulling away from that page and just doing things, that feel really good. Not posting every day there, posting when I want to post. And really just putting my time and energy into this brand and what we're building here, because I see the vision and it excites me so much. I just realized the camera wasn't even rolling, I don't think. Nope, we weren't even rolling. Sorry if you're watching on YouTube. I'm going to press play now. So now we're rolling. 5 minutes without that. Hi, here's a new space. I just looked over and realized it wasn't even recording. But anywho, Adriana Simona, you can find on Instagram, TikTok, all of the things. And this podcast will continue to be Life is a Vibe by me. So those are just a little bit of the updates. Without further ado, let's get into our little checklist for your end of year. And what I really wanted to emphasize and start this out with is like, whatever you want to do is what's best for you. If you want to grind to the end of the year, if you really want to push to the end of the year, by all means, do it. But if you are really feeling that nudge to just relax and rest and go at your own pace, and like you start on January 1st, then follow that. You know, everyone's energy types are so different. And like what I've been learning from human design is that we are all different when it comes to this. And some people feel really good this year and feel that moment at this time of year and really want to follow that momentum. And some people don't. I'm one of those people that don't. I kind of like get myself excited, but I am like truly hibernating at this time of year. Whereas some other people like love this year and, you know, maybe during summer they don't feel as great. So really tune in and see what really feels good for you. What I'm about to recommend are just like, you know, some suggestions and what you can start to do to really end your year and get ready for the new year. And there'll be some stuff, more content to come to get you ready for the new year and things like that. But let's go ahead and kick this off. So the first thing that you can add to your checklist is I want you to reflect on the past year. Set some time aside for some reflection. I think this is just really helpful in two ways. One, you really get to honor and celebrate yourself for all of the things that went so well this year, that went really well this year, that felt really good. Some of those highlights, those memories, I really want you to list all of those things out. Because sometimes we have such that negative mindset of like, oh, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. Like literally on like give yourself more of that credit that you did this year. And I think that will really help you to feel like, you know, let those feelings kind of dissipate, right? And give yourself more credit for you getting yourself through the year. Like that is an accomplishment within itself. And I was being really hard on myself for similar things. And then it's like, wait, I was able to do all of these things and like that was enough, you know? So I really want you to reflect on it. And then if there's any of those challenges or trouble points or things that were quote unquote bad from the year, I want you to figure out if there is any feelings or lessons or things that you can take away from that experience to then let it influence your next year. So for example, like for me, I think I was just recovering from massive amounts of burnout. And so I didn't get to do everything I wanted to do. I wasn't so on top of my routines this year. I wasn't super on, I didn't even check my budget this year. Like there were things I did not do and I'm not beating myself up over it. Rather, I'm like, okay, let's not lose sight of this or lose track of this for this next year. I'm not losing sight of it. I'm just taking this intake, right? You know, if there's someone that, you know, you had an instance with, whether it was a friend, a partner, whatever, you know, you take feedback from that and you ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And let that help your next year. So I want you to reflect on the past year, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever it may be. And with this, some feelings might come up. Some feelings really might come up. And so I want you to feel what you need to feel. I had kind of like a pity party day a couple Saturdays ago where I felt what I needed to feel and then I just like moved on. But for like that afternoon, I just like cried, I sulked, I just like let myself have that. And then like the next day I felt so much better. So if any feelings come up, like give yourself that permission to feel those feelings and then find a way to let go of it. And just know like your feelings and your thoughts are not you most of the time. And it's okay to feel what you're feeling. And it feels better to feel that stuff rather than resisting and holding it all in. And then the second thing on your checklist that you're going to do is called out with the old to prep for the new. So I want you to clean out anything in your life that you don't want to bring into the new year, whether it's your home, your closet, things on your phone, things on your laptop. I did a massive clean out of my files on my laptop. That felt really good. I also want to clean out my phone. I'm even thinking about getting like an external hard drive to put some old photos and memories into that I just like do not need on my phone, you know? Like I have stuff from college, like we're talking 2014, 2015. I got 7 years of like an encyclopedia of myself on my phone. So I'm finding ways to like reduce clutter. You know, I'm even thinking about getting a business phone next year just so I can like have some separation of content and space from my life. Whatever it may be, do a declutter, tidy up everything, get rid of things you don't want to bring with you. If you are wanting to like really step up into this new version of you, maybe it's time to clean out your closet. Like just do a whole clean out of everything. And like a whole audit of stuff too. And this might also include people, right? Are there people that really have not been serving you? Are there people that really have not been supporting you? You know, how can you start to create some distance, create some space? Because there's no need to carry that energy into the new year and bring those people with you on your journey into the new year. So I also wanted to put people on there. And then with that, you know, out with the old to prep for the new, I want you to do some type of letting go ceremony. So I know I just talked about like feeling your feelings and letting it go. For me, I need to do some type of physical thing to let go. So that could be ripping up or burning paper, writing letters. You know, you could write a letter to someone that you'll never send, but it gives you that closure. You can write a letter to yourself and rip it up. Like whatever feels like you are actually letting something go can be really good. You could also, you know, go to a healer of some sort, like a shaman or like a Reiki master or something, and try to do something like that. That feels like more of that physical thing. I've seen this go around on TikTok where you take a plate, you write everything in it, and then you break the plate. So you could do something like that of all the things you want to let go from the year. If you do that, you could take a plate, put it in a Ziploc baggie, and then break it, and hopefully the pieces don't scatter everywhere. But that could be a great way of letting go. So we got number 1, reflect on the past year, the good and the bad, feel what you need to feel, girlfriend. Then we're going to do out with the old to prep for the new. Moving on to number 3, I just want you to do a brain dump of the remaining task for your end of year. And what I mean by this is you will sit down and you will write down anything that is coming to mind that you need to do by end of year. And I'm not telling you that you need to do all of these things, but you can start to prioritize what is actually important to do by the end of year, right? Some of these things you can move to January, but sometimes we have it made up in our head like, oh, I need to do this by the end of the year. Like figure out what actually needs to get done and then consolidate that list so it feels really good and manageable for your December. And you can also go area by area of your life, you know, look at finances, look at home, look at friends, whatever it may be, to figure out what are some of those tasks that you need to do. And again, we're not taking action on anything. We're just brain dumping. Brain dump it all, take it all out of your head, then you can organize it and prioritize from there. So that is the 3rd thing on your checklist. The 4th thing to add to your checklist is start thinking about your goals for the next year. And you could do like a little vision boarding session. You know, this is one of those things where if you feel good to do this before the end of the year, great. Or you could do it at the beginning of the year if you don't feel like you're in the headspace too, or like holidays are too crazy, you're traveling, whatever. But start thinking about what are those goals that you want to have for this next year based on this past year. And something else that could be really helpful that I will dive into one of these days eventually is like, we have a specific part of our design and our human design that makes us, you know, super detail oriented with goals or super not detail oriented with goals. If you're the super detail type, you need to have a plan. You need to know when you're doing it, how you're doing it, by when you're doing it. There's other people where they don't need to do that. And I'm one of those types. For the longest time, I thought I needed to be that type of person that had the action plan, when I'm doing it, by when I'm doing it, all of these things, when really I've been the opposite. I'm the non-specific type where I can set a goal. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm going to do my best to get it done. But if I put a date on it, I'm going to get really stressed out. So that's something I want to talk about. But maybe you can start to think about, do I fall in either one of those, right? And start to think about what would your goals then look like for 2023. And I saw this post by Manifestation Babe that I really liked, and it was the difference between goal setting and goal manifesting. And like, goal manifesting is basically what I've been teaching my clients anyway. And it basically is, you know, what you want the year to look like and how you want it to feel. And then what are those certain types of beliefs that you need to align with that? And then figuring out what beliefs you need to release from that. So like, for example, if you want to manifest like a happy, healthy, strong body, right? What are some of those beliefs that are coming up that would like block you or impact you or whatever? And what are those new beliefs to instill that go with that type of goal? And this way it creates a deep connection with what you want to achieve, and you'll get aligned with the ideal outcome and embody that reality. And that was straight from her post. And I really love Manifestation Babe. If you've never followed her, definitely go check her out. And so really start to open yourself to these ideas and possibilities as to what your 2023 can look like. And then I'm going to recommend like doing a vision board session, create a Pinterest board, and then, you know, maybe go in Canva and make a vision board. Just find some way to put your goals into a vision of some sort, and that you can like see it, because if we just keep it in our head, we're going to forget about it. So you need to do something to actually like physically be able to see it. And from there, you know, you'll then create an action plan as to how you'll get there. Not something you need to do right away, but at least have an idea, right? If I'm going to have a goal of being a happy, healthy, strong body, having that, right? What are the steps I need to take to get there? So again, not something you need to do by end of year, but start thinking about it. So that was number 4. Number 5, what you could do if it feels good is experiment for these last 4 weeks. So as an example, if you want to get more organized for the new year, why don't you try out Google Calendar time blocking? Why don't you try out Notion? Why don't you try out Trello? Like, try out some type of organizational tool. Or if you are wanting to wake up early in the new year, why don't you start to try to fix your sleep schedule before that happens? Or if you want to start walking more, like, just start finding ways to start to experiment with these things. So that way, when January 1st comes, you're not trying to do all of these things at once. And like, there's like that learning curve and you're trying to learn all of these things at once. Like, try an experiment, and you know, you have 3 weeks to build a habit basically. So if there's any of those habits you want to start trying, you know, I'm not telling you need to wake up tomorrow and like eat a healthy salad, go for a walk, and like drink water and go to the gym and like do all these things if you're not used to it, right? Maybe pick a couple to focus on for December and get a really solid foundation for that. That way, come January, you're already going to be in some type of momentum to show up. And then the last thing, I want you to relax. If there's anything I've learned from 2022 is to take a break, give yourself some grace, give yourself some compassion, and relax, dude. I really want you to take that time for yourself. Enjoy your vacation if you're taking one. Take a vacation if you're not taking one. Do a staycation if you can't go anywhere. Like, get yourself a massage, do an at-home massage if you need to, or a spa day or whatever, you know, just do something to really make yourself relax and like calm down your nervous system and regulate that a little bit more, and just really express gratitude to yourself for you getting yourself through this year. Because holy moly, sister, girlfriend, boy, friend, boy, that's a friend, whatever, whoever's listening, like, you got yourself through this year, and you need to give yourself more credit than that, because the world is so crazy to be in, but it is such an honor that we get to be in this experience and that we get to live this life that we do. But man, is it hard. It truly is hard sometimes. And I really want you to just sit there and do nothing, but also be so grateful for yourself and like do some of these things for the end of year to show for yourself. Like, I am so grateful we did this. I'm so grateful that we got ourselves to here. I am so grateful for my past self, for what she did and what she went through to get me to here. You know, whatever you can do to express that would be great. If you can't do any of the things I just listed, at least do this last one for me and do it for yourself. So just to repeat myself again, for this checklist for your end of year, maybe I'll make this into a graphic and put it on my Instagram so you guys can like have it to reference. But number 1, reflect on the past year, the good and the bad. Number 2, out with the old to prep for the new. Number 3, brain dump your remaining task for end of year. You don't need to act on all of them. Number 4, start thinking about your goals for next year. Number 5, experiment as a way to prep for the new year. And number 6, relax. Take a chill pill. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope this gave you the motivation and inspiration you need to end your year. Like I said, I'm not telling you to end your year strong or to end it in a certain way. I'm telling you to end your year in the most aligned way possible for you that feels really good to you. And we're going to end this podcast with the affirmation and note from your higher self. So, Miss Universe, what does the Vibey family need to know? Ooh, okay. Affirmation is, I don't compare myself to others because I am not meant to be a copy of anyone else. I was born to be me, an original, one of a kind. I am happy to be me. Period. And even with the end of year recaps, do not compare your highlight reel to someone else's highlight reel. Like, focus on your own journey. You did so much to get through the year. So let me repeat that again. I don't compare myself to others because I am not meant to be a copy of anyone else. I was born to be me, an original, one of a kind. I am happy to be me. Receiving and loving all of that. All of it. Okay. We'll do a note from your higher self and I will let you guys go. Okay. Note from your higher self for the Vibey family. I thought one was coming out there. There we go. Okay. Ooh, get out of your head and on paper. Either let it go or make it grow. You guys, that is literally what I said. Basically, especially with the reflection, get it out of your head and on paper, either let it go or make it grow. Either let it go or find a way to grow yourself, take some lessons from it. I love when that happens. I get so excited when it aligns, but and I'll show you guys there. Yeah, but I hope you have an amazing week. I hope you have an amazing rest of your 2022. And if you could so kindly take a second to leave this podcast a rating and review, whatever feels good to you. Make sure to subscribe to me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Adriana Simona. YouTube is also doing usernames, so it's at Adriana Simona over there as well. But yeah, I am so excited for what's to come with, this very Vibey family and everything. So stay tuned for all of the exciting things. Thank you for, letting me take a break and still supporting me and seeing me and celebrating me and all of the things. I am so, so grateful for you guys. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next podcast. Have a wonderful week, and don't forget that life is a vibe. Okay, bye.